Well, Noodles was just live on. He ended the stream somehow or lost internet or something, and I was bored. So here I am. We'll see if there's anybody else out there that's bored. Let's see here. Camera. Face front. Turn camera on. And show y'all my new coffee cup. It's already getting dirty, but got a new coffee cup. So let's check it on out here. Look at that Grizz 270. And this is the cool side of it. Get yourself a can of whip butt. Yeah. And in that white up there, that white bar up there, that says open it today for 50% off. I love that. Let's see here. Go back to the brand and put that on. Yeah, you can go to get yourself a can of whip butt. Nothing like waking up with whip butt in your cup. Got a shirt too and a drinking mug. The drinking mug doesn't have that on that. And I got a tumbler. So I got to make some commercial videos with those. Use them for like B-roll in my videos that I do. Yeah, Noodles does go live again. Let me know. Hey, JR. How's JR this afternoon? Hey, Chad. It was sure good to hear that Tom's making improvement and stuff. And Linda gets to go home today, although I know she's going to be missing and want to get back as soon as she can. It surprised me when she showed him in the hospital there. The first time she showed him on camera, he actually looked pretty good. Looked like he was really good spirits too. Doing all right, you reckon? What you reckon? By the way, I can't remember, Jr. Do you have a wrench? If you can post Renda's PayPal in here, let me look. Make sure you got a wrench. Just a second, I got to open up my YouTube. Let's see here. I got to switch accounts. Yeah, you got a wrench. You missed your stream today? Oops, did I just do that? There we go. Yeah, okay, we're still here. Oh, you don't. Okay, you don't know how to do the copy and paste. Just go to. All you got to do is you just got to go to our PayPal link and click on it, and then up in the search bar up there, you just copy that and then drop paste it into the chat. But somebody else might be able to do it too. Well, don't worry about it either way if you don't feel comfortable with it. But basically, it's highlight it. I think you either right click or left click on it if you're with a mouse, and it'll say copy. You click on copy when it's highlighted in blue. Then you come back here and click it in the text bar. And then you right click again, and that time you click paste. From what I could tell, I only caught like the last 10, 15 minutes of her live stream. But it sounded like Tom was doing good, and she was on her way on home to get some stuff taken care of and see the dogs and all that. But yeah, it sounded like everything was good. I guess Tom got his room. Well, you heard that Tom got his room last night, and he's got his own room now or whatever. He's in the. I don't know if it's his own room, but anyway, he's not in that. He's in a step down unit now. Mm. Oh boy. Looking at Angela's tarp, I better get that fixed this weekend. Hey Dale, you just did. That two-letter word is not to be spoken in here. Oh, I'll never have it all done. I got to start working on next year to get a jump on the game. But I'm done with the rest of what I need to get done this year. It'll probably be a few weeks. I don't know. I might, if I feel like getting on some more cutting, I will. If I don't, I won't. I want to start. What I'd like to do is start getting that setup that I have. I want to do something a little bit more permanent with it. Um, I have a conveyor belt for one. So I want to move that whole setup that I got. I want to move it over, and I want to set up the postal logger and drill some holes instead of having everything sitting on stumps like it is. I want to pour some holes and set some 6x6s in the ground and frame it up right, a little bit better looking, and then I'll set up the wood splitter just like it is, but I'm putting it at a different location so I got room to bring the conveyor belt and put it right after the wood splitter so I can, as a wood split, we can throw it in the conveyor belt and where it's dumped, I want to build like a little 16 by 16 woodshed for it to just dump it right inside the woodshed. I might go 20 by 20. I can go up to 400 square foot without a permit. And in that woodshed, the wood won't be stacked in there. It'll just literally be dumped in there with the conveyor. And then I can slowly fill up that woodshed just with everything, just dump it on in there, and then I can bring it over here at any point, fill up the woodshed and get it stacked with dry wood. But that I can get way ahead, dumping it in there and keeping it dry. I need to do some more firewood cutting videos though, because I was getting a lot of views on those. I can't believe so many people wanted to see that. Good evening, Nancy Drew, or afternoon. Yeah, well, you know as well as I do, most of the stuff that we see on wood cutting isn't real wood cutting anymore, including me, the way that I do it. Man, the old school way is go out there in the woods with your chainsaws, cut and split it, and stack it in your truck, and bring it home and stack it in the shed. And there was no hydraulic splitters, and you was lucky to have a chainsaw that ran. Yeah, wood cutting at least for me, when I first got this place, started wood cutting here for this place here, it was a lot of work. It's half the work now is what it used to be. Just we'd a lot of times we'd haul just me and Dean would go on out and cut a couple of pickup loads of firewood unsplit. We'd bring it on back to the houses and you get his grandkids on over and have a wood splitting contest. And all his grandkids, they'd be out there competing with each other to see who could cut the fastest. It was fun. Nope, there was no fat wood cutters. I tell you what, every single one of us was in shape, including his grandkids, because his grandkids were hard workers. We'd go over there and split and stack his wood first, and his grandkids would do most of the work, and then they'd all come over here and we'd do mine. I think what I'm going to do when I go to rebuild this thing, instead of having the two logs that I drop the log that I'm cutting into it, I'm going to have two beams. And I have an old truck bed liner. I'm going to lay on top of it in a funnel shape type of deal, in a trop shape, so the logs will drop in that. But I want to do it that way because that stuff is slick, and the logs will slide forward easier on it, I believe. I got to think this through to make sure, because I got to worry about cutting into it too. no lumberjack, but I remember cutting back in the day. I split a mini with a maul and an axe. Yep. And we was constantly rocking our chainsaws when we was cutting firewood. That was a royal pain, constantly when you're cutting firewood, on the ground and stuff, you can't help but rocking it like every couple of logs. So then you're back to sharpening it or cutting with a dull chain. And when you rocked your saw, man, it made you work twice as hard. And sometimes, man, I tell you what, sometimes we rock it really good to where it was really, and we wouldn't have a chain. So when you rock the saw, it would take 3 sharpenings to start whipping that chainsaw back in shape again. Years ago, one time, Dean and I, as before we had this place, we went on out. We cut him a load of wood, and up here by the dam, they had they were issuing permits all along the road, of blowdowns and stuff that they had cleaned up and they'd stockpiled along the highway, of course, to a byway up here. And the first pile was right at the dam. Big old pile of big growth trees. Oh, we didn't know no better. We got in there. That was the first pile, and everybody else was driving right on by it. We thought, shoot, we're not even going to drive any further, look any further, man. Here's a nice load of logs right here for us to cut on into. We fired up our chainsaws, and those logs were stacked up pretty high. We didn't have to worry. They were stacked up on the pavement, but we didn't have to worry about hitting the pavement, man. Those logs were stacked so high, we were way out of the pavement, running the bars. We ended up cutting. He had a Dodge pickup. It was a short, wide box, and with racks on it, of course. And we ended up cutting a big load of that. And those rounds were heavy as heck, to load them into the truck and stuff. But we got them all loaded in the truck, and that load was level all the way up to the top of the cab, all the way back. I mean, we had that sucker loaded. And Dean was looking at his trucks, squatting there, and he turns to me. He says, "Grizz," he says, "this thing is squatting pretty good." He says, "I ain't got a driver's license. I was suspended." I didn't know he was suspended. He says, "I don't feel comfortable driving this on back with a suspended driver's license." I said, "Okay." So I hopped in the truck and I drove it on back, and coming down this hill here, and it's not very steep, but it was steep enough. Coming down the hill, I'd come to a corner and have to turn left or right. I'd turn the wheel all I want. It'd just keep on going straight. It would not turn. I could not get the truck to turn with the wheels without hitting the brakes. I had to hit the brakes to shift the weight forward to the front wheels, so it'd get enough weight on the front wheels just to where it would start turning again. And then I had to let off the brakes. Stuff. I mean, it was crazy. Came all the way down the hill. And I thought, holy cow, what does this thing weigh? Well, we had to go by the weigh station in order to get to this place. This weigh station was closed, but you can still weigh your rigs going through there. I drove across those scales. Now, this is in a half-ton Dodge pickup, short, wide box. What does that weigh? 3,500 pounds, something like that, when they're empty. I went across the scales weighing 13,500 pounds. Don't tell me we didn't have a hell of a load. We got that load back to his house. We were so proud of it. We started throwing it on off. And Dean's brother-in-law comes by and he's, "What the hell did you get cottonwood for? You can't burn that stuff with a blowtorch." We got a whole load of cottonwood. Oh, Nancy, that sawmill that I was going to get, I bought it, but I ended up selling it off because I didn't have time to set it up. That American One sawmill. That's what that had been used for, was for cutting railroad ties. Yeah, that was a lot of work, GR, for nothing. We ended up splitting it up somewhat, but then he ended up, let it sit like 3 years on outside, covered it on up, and he ended up getting it burned up with other wood. But that was a pull lock moment for sure. Yeah, what we would do is we'd go get his firewood first of all. We'd cut until he had 6 cord of firewood at his place first, and then we'd start cutting on mine and get my 6 cord of firewood second. And one year we went on up there, and here's this big old ugly old growth log just laying in the middle of the deck where our cutting area was. And everybody was, and all the other logs that was in there was like, there was a white pine, and there was hemlock, and there was, you know, there wasn't no Doug fir in the batch, but they were good looking trees. But there was spruce, and but none of that burns really good. Doesn't have a whole lot of BTU. It's a lighter wood after it dries. But there was this big old gnarly looking old growth laying in the middle, and that whole outside was really rotted bad. I was Dean. I says, let's cut into that. He's, oh no. He says, let's get this easy stuff. He says, that looks too junky. So we got his 6 cord of wood, and everybody else up there cutting with. They were doing the same thing. They were all going after that easy gravy stuff. Well, as soon as we got Dean's 6 cord cut, I said, okay, Dean, I said, for Mike's 6 cord, we're taking out of this here. And he says, okay. I cut on into that first cut. He was so pissed off he didn't cut into that initially. We got 2 pickup loads out of that. There was probably about 6 pickup loads all total, but we couldn't get back in time fast enough because as soon as we cut into it, the people seen with the old growth there, Doug fir that was there sitting dry and ready to burn. Man, by the time we came on back, the rest of that log was already gone. But I did get 2.5 cords out of it anyway. So, Chairman. Oh yeah, black walnut is worth a lot. The black walnut trees. You just a stump of a black walnut tree around here that's say 2 foot in diameter, 10 feet long. That's $4,000 or $5,000. They're a lot of money. And you don't want to burn that for firewood. Maybe burn the limbs and stuff for firewood, but man, that the stump of that, the base of that tree, man, that log and the burrow down at the bottom too. That's worth a lot of money. I can't. I would love to run some black walnut on my sawmill, but I can't afford to buy that. I'd have to be really lucky to find some that I, have somebody give me some. Were they live and standing, Nancy, or were they dead and down? I've known guys that would. I wouldn't. I knew them. They weren't friends, but I knew guys that would drive around and look for big old uh, red cedar trees in farmers' fields and stuff. And they'd go on down and they'd go out in their field at nighttime and cut the tree down, drop it in their field, and then and cedar doesn't make very good firewood. It burns too fast. It burns hot, but it burns really fast. So the farmers would just usually leave it lay, and he'd wait until the next year and come on back and offer to buy the tree for dirt cheap. The farmer would be glad to have somebody getting it out of his field for him. And he would just split it. He had a shake mill, and he'd make a killing off of those. But I was hoping he would get caught doing that. They left a mess. Well, I'll tell you what, the The limbs, if they're decent size and stuff, and it's 2 inches and bigger, they're still worth cutting up into firewood. It's still really good firewood. Some of the best firewood. Actually, the best firewood in a tree is the limbs and the knots where they split off. The wood that doesn't split very easy. That's the best firewood. Hard to work firewood, but it's the best part of the tree. You wouldn't want to burn wood in the thin, I guess. Did Noodles ever go live again? Let me take a look. No, no, go live. Nancy, you're probably on the East Coast. And I don't drive more than an hour away from my house. My back can't take going that far. But if there was a lot of limbs there and stuff, heck yeah, I'd be over there to clean that on up. That's some good firewood. Well, the limbs are the harder part of the tree. More brittle, but harder, more dense. So, what part of the states are you at, Nancy? I mean, don't get too descriptive there, yeah, but a general, what state. Don't have to tell me what area of the state or nothing. Oh, Kentucky. Yeah, that's a long ways away. Yeah, you're probably neighbors with my aunt. I don't know. I doubt if my aunt and uncle's still even alive back there anymore. They had a tobacco farm. Had fun going back to see him. Oh, it was back in the '70s when I went back to see him. It was a fun trip. Took my nephews with us, and it was a kick in the butt. I'll have to tell you all about it sometime. My nephews were some real hellions. Their dad was a member of the Hells Angels Club, and didn't have the best upbringing. Yeah, these kids were really entertaining. I'll be right back. I gotta get me another cup of coffee. In my cup of open a double dog dare ya. Enjoy your dinner, JR. Let's see here. There you go. See that grizzly bear on there? Go ahead, open up that can of whoop butt. I double dog dare ya. Open it today and you get 50% off of what's inside. Wonder what JR's having for supper tonight. Yeah, that's good merch. Um, the cup's all right. Don't get the hat. The hat's way too pricey, and the picture is horrible. Um, I'll show you a couple items what I got here. Just a second. Okay, I couldn't find the tumbler. I misplaced it. But here's the I gotta get where I can turn this off. Here's the glass. Okay, it's got a little dusty sitting in there. But there's Goose 270 underneath there with that picture of the saw blade and the sawmill and me on it. And the back view is just backwards and reverse. Then the shirt, but I should have read what it was made out of. This is the back of the shirt. Let's see here. Maybe I'd do better turning the shirt sideways. Does that help? I can't even see what I'm showing you. Okay. Yeah, there's the back of the shirt. And then here's the front of the shirt. And if you look really close at the white lettering, let's see here if I can get it in here. Can you read that? The white bar there. It says 50% off if open today. But yeah, I thought the shirt was pretty nice. I'm disappointed in the shirt because, well, it feels like there's polyester. It feels like it's a polyester cotton blend. So it feels nice, but I was wanting 100% cotton. But anyway, that's what we got. Let's see here. I got to put these back inside before the chickens start landing on them and stuff. The tumbler, the logos came out kind of small on it.
I never saw it.
Sure.
Weird.
Oh well, it's around here somewhere.
I've never seen it. I never even saw it.
I've been trying. There's that bra on there too. I've been trying to figure out how to remove that out of the store. I want to get that out of there. I don't need to be selling stuff like that. I want to narrow the merch down to just like 3 items and get better quality pictures on them. Actually, what I'd rather do is find a local place that gets American-made cups, American-made T-shirts and stuff. Just print it up locally here and sell it that way.
I know where it's going. Now those boxes I never seen.
Oh, don't worry about it, Dion. No, I haven't. I haven't even had that T-shirt on of this kind. I don't know anything about it yet. I'm not going to recommend anybody buy any of this stuff at this point. Like this coffee cup that I'm drinking on out of, I had one of these before, had a different picture on it, and I really did. I like that cup. I like smaller coffee cups because the coffee don't. I just slowly sip on it. And the big cups, my coffee gets cold before I'm done with it. For around here, I'd rather have a small cup, and fill it up more often. But after about 3 or 4 years of it, it finally did crack on me. It's still all together, but it did crack so it leaks a little bit of coffee out as I'm sipping on it. So I ended up needing a new cup. But I mean, they're cheapo cups, but I do like them. There's a higher quality coffee cup. I gotta buy it, and I think these are a 6 ounce out that I'm drinking out of right now, and the other cups are 8 ounce. These ones are, I think I have them just only listed in white cups, and the other ones are listed with only on a black cup. Well, this one here fits in my tractor console. I know it's the smaller cup. The 8 ounce cup will not fit in my tractor console. It won't drop all the way down inside of it, but this one here does. So I think these cheaper ones will fit in your car console. But the I don't think the 8 ounce cups would. No, that's not being pecky. I understand totally. Um, Now I don't have a console, on my car to judge it by on anything like that. But in the tractor does have a console, and the console in the tractor, if I drop a 12 ounce soda can on in there on the tractor, in the cup holder, it's a little bit loose, and the coffee cup just fits just nicely right on in there with the handle spot in there, of course. So I'm thinking the 6 ounce cup would fit nicely in the car console. But whether you would really want to have this in the car, I don't think in a car you'd want to have more than half a cup at a time in there. Too easy to splash out. But don't get in a rush to be buying anything yet. Let me. I do want to change things on up and get better images and stuff. This coffee cup I'll probably leave the same. The white one they'll still be there, but number of the other stuff I want to change around. Yeah, I've been thinking about making some B-roll videos that Christmas is coming on up, and advertising my merch. I was going to do that, but I'm kind of afraid to push my merch for Christmas presents right now because the quality of my hat that I got, and I haven't ordered all the other stuff, which I can't afford to order it all. It's all way too expensive for me. But I'm afraid to push after seeing the quality of the print on the cap. I'm really afraid to push it as Christmas presents. I definitely don't want anybody buying that cap because I was really disappointed in that. And it's not the store's fault. The cap was not the store's fault. That was when I uploaded the image to try it in there. It just said it was good, but it didn't say excellent. The other images, it will say excellent. And to me, next time I have something put it in, it's going to have to say excellent, not good. Good isn't good enough. Put it this way: if I was somebody else buying somebody else's cap with that quality of a picture on it, I'd be a little bit disappointed. Actually, I'd be quite a bit disappointed. I'd be pissed off, and I'd be yelling at me. So I got to figure out how to get that hat off of there right away. And I think in order, the problem is stuff are advertised in groups. So if I take the hat off, it's going to take other stuff off too. So I got it. So that means I'll have to recreate and stuff. And yeah, don't buy anything yet. Let me. I mean, believe me, I want the I want to make the sales and make the money, but I don't want people buying stuff that's just subpar, and that's what a number of the stuff is. I'm thinking is subpar. I mean, that glass that you're seeing on there is the exact same glass that I ordered, and it looks like it's white, but it's actually clear glass. The other cup, the black cup that's sitting on the picture in here, that's the one that I haven't ordered yet. I think it's a good quality cup. I believe the picture and everything. If I remember right, it said it was good. So I'm thinking that that will probably be left. Oh man, I got a video that's releasing in about an hour. I still got to make the thumbnail for it. Yeah, I'll do that here in about 10 minutes. I'm having to go through some of my older videos that I had to remove because of music on there and re-edit them and I'm re-uploading them. I don't expect they're going to be doing good, but I just want to get some of my older videos released again. Of course, it won't be the same, but it's something. Um, I've got to get my wood shop back in order again. I've been saying that for several years. I do some wood turning on the lathe. I'm not an expert at it, but I do some of that. I was a carpenter by trade, and at one point I ran a cabinet shop. Um, I do want to get back into some small woodwork, small items that I have an idea of a bunch of small items that I can make that I could still ship on out. But I've got to get my wood shop in order. I think what it's going to take for me to do is to build myself another little wood shop. And so I can leave this shop here just strictly for the mechanical and tune-ups and stuff, and in the storage, and make myself another little wood shop for woodworking. And the log trucks aren't going by here near as often as they used to. I want to get back into wood carving. In my younger years, I've done some pretty cool wood carvings that I made some pretty good money on, but then I got away from it for years, and I just don't. I seem to have lost that part of the artistic touch that I used to have with wood carving. The knives. I wanted to get into making knives, kitchen knives, type of for in the kitchen, not hunting knives or anything else like that. It's really hard to compete. I know there's a lot of people that make them, and you got to pay a lot of money to get a good quality hunting knife, a survival knife or whatever you want to call it. The steel most of the knives that you see these people making, um, a lot of those knives won't even work on flint, and they're a softer steel, um, unless you're paying really good money for a knife. So I'm not trying to knock those guys' knife what they're selling, um, that they're bad quality, but they're not survival type of material. I mean, if I'm going to have a survival knife, I want something that keeps my hand from slipping down onto the blade, that type of stuff. Yeah, I'm not too much of a survivalist or into that type of stuff, thinking that we're going to need to go that route. But if I did have to have a knife Well, say for hunting purposes, and you want to whittle some kindling, or you're gutting a deer or whatever. Um, I want a knife. My hand's not going to swipe this, slip down and cut my hand on. And I've used knives that I've done that with, and I got fortunate not to cut my hand too bad. But anyway, I got to get off here. I got to get my thumbnail ready. I haven't even picked out the picture that I'm going to use for it. So anyway, I'm going to get off here. We'll catch y'all later. Bye, y'all.